We know how amazing he is, but then to look out in the community and see all the people that have come together.
I was in foster care and I know completely how it feels.
She is unlike any student I've ever met.
You know, the kids are my first priority, and I'm just trying to make every single day about them.
What makes a person remarkable? Well, here on this special edition of 630 Central, we're going to bring you some stories of Arkansans who we believe fit that description. We're going to meet coaches, healthcare workers, and some outstanding young people who have been going above and beyond every day of their lives. Let's start with our own Craig O'Neill, who brings us the story of a remarkable teacher up in Cabot.
Are you ready?
Watching Jessica Psalm work, you just know it.
Guess what happened next?
By the way she keeps her special ed class engaged.
Good.
By her constant encouragement.
So where is it?
Her ability to connect. You just know Jessica Psalm is no ordinary teacher. The Department of Ed knows it. She was named 2022 Arkansas Teacher of the Year. All of Stagecoach Elementary in Cabot, state officials, even her parents from South Carolina came to celebrate.
It was overwhelming. It was such an exciting day.
But for Jessica Psalm, every day has that excitement.
We start every day dancing in my class. We have a song that goes with each day of the week, and that's the first thing we do after we come in and we gather together at the carpet.
And if the class needs a reset to get back under control, she does this.
Hey, if you can hear me, take a big deep breath. Blow it out. Okay, awesome.
Hard to believe a teacher dedicated to such mindfulness will get away from it all with the help of roller derby.
We have to choose joy. Like that is just, I feel like, our responsibility as educators to choose joy.
She wore the skates in the parade celebrating Cabot's designation as the first Purple Star school district in Arkansas. There are over 1,000 Cabot students with parents in the military, including Jessica's.
Both of my children were born in Germany, and then we moved back to Arkansas. And so their early life experiences were probably very different from the children here that they met and interacted with.
As Teacher of the Year, Jessica will leave the classroom and travel the state with a platform dedicated to students from military families and the challenges they face.
Military children move on average 6 to 9 times throughout their school career. But as students get older, their academic progress can really be impacted by these moves.
She'll travel Arkansas making sure schools and families know of resources available to help the military student. And she'll share her classroom experience with fellow special education teachers.
And learn from some of these other amazing teachers across the state what they're doing, and then steal those ideas and bring them back to my own teaching practice.
Jessica Psalm, Teacher of the Year, about to carry her biggest life lesson of all to Arkansas teachers.
I have learned that every day is a new day to change lives. Guess what happened next?
Oh, we can't wait.
In sports, you hear it a lot. Take advantage of any opportunity you're given. The timing of Destiny Rogers was anything but perfect.
I will never forget that night. Obviously I was upset. I had a lot of emotions going.
December 13th, her mentor, A-State head coach Matt Daniel, resigned for personal reasons.
They were emotional. It was a shock. I just tried to be as positive as I could.
There was no time to waste for the Red Wolves. Their next game was in less than 24 hours.
It was like 10 o'clock at night. And I told him, I said, hey, listen, we're going to be okay. Just trust me. I trust y'all. Let's do this together.
Now, Coach may have been fighting butterflies before her debut, but she did not show it.
She was like, I'm not nervous. And so seeing that she wasn't nervous, we were like, okay, since you're not nervous, we're not going to be nervous. And so she was just like, I just need y'all to trust me and let's just do this thing together. The shoot around was really good. The energy was high. You could just tell that they were ready to play. And I had a really good feeling walking away from that shoot around that this was going to be special.
That night, Mississippi Valley State, they stood no chance. The Red Wolves dominated 81-47. It wasn't just Coach Rogers' first victory as a head coach. It was the first ever for an African-American woman leading an A-State squad.
After the game, we were like, we should do something. And everybody's like, let's spray her with water. And so we had a plan.
And now that I go back and I watch the video, you can see it all over their faces that they were planning to do something. So when they do it, it was a complete shock. You know, I thought it was funny. I thought it was great. But, you know, they want to celebrate. And so, hey, I walked to the press conference drenched.
That wouldn't be the only surprise for Coach. She received a very special message from national champion head coach Don Staley of South Carolina.
Arkansas State University did the right thing in hiring you because you are the one that's breaking glass ceilings, and you're paving the way for many more Black women to be head coaches there, as well as you are leading a group of young ladies that will remember making history.
To receive that message from her, to have text conversations with her, for her to send me a piece of the 2017 National Championship net, it has just been amazing for me.
A historic goal accomplished with another one in her sights. What would it mean to you to have that interim tag removed?
Oh, it would mean the world to me. Obviously, that is what I'm working towards. You know, I believe that, you know, what is for me is for me. I believe this is for me, you know, but like I said, you know, the kids are my first priority. And right now, I'm just trying to make every single day, every single game about them.
Still to come, a boy and his mullet. How a hairstyle helped this remarkable kid give back to a cause close to his heart.
You know, I'm a simple guy, I guess you will, and like I said, I don't have the words to articulate how I feel about just turning around and looking at this place. What I say is Leonard A. Surrey, it's an honor to place this wreath, and thank you for serving our country. And you get down and place the wreath, you want to set it up nice and pretty. To me, putting a live wreath on a headstone means in your mind, they are still with us. They are here. What they served and did is worthy of a live wreath.
When you think about something remarkable, you might picture something so extraordinary that it's almost impossible. But in reality, all it takes is a simple act of kindness, something small, perhaps a haircut.
Why did you choose a mullet?
I just chose mullet because I'm like, what would really embarrass my sister the most?
The Bolts family lives in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Like parents across the country, Lisa and Derek were desperate for creative things to do in 2020.
We started doing crazy things with our hair. Alice did her hair teal, I went red. Alan did a mullet, and my husband did a mustache. That was terrible.
What started as a way to pass the time morphed into more than a mullet for Alan. He added a faux hawk with lots of gel and then the curly perm.
How did you feel about the mullet?
At first, I was really questioning my parenting skills and allowing it to happen.
But when a friend told them about the USA Mullet Championship, everything changed.
When I heard there was like $2,500, I'm like, I'm just going to donate it to foster care if I win.
Why did you want to donate it to foster care?
I was in foster care and I know completely how it feels.
In 2014, Alan and Alice were in the foster care system when they came to live with Leslie and Derek.
We expected it to be a 2-week thing, and then they would go to another placement.
2 weeks eventually turned into adoption.
And when you think of the kids in foster care, what do you think about?
I just really hope they're feeling happy and hoping that a family will pick them, just like my mom, my dad picked me and my sister.
As the online mullet competition ramped up, voting was in Alan's favor. As word spread he planned to donate the prize money to foster care, independent donations poured in.
People just kept giving, and so the total was about $4,500 that the community has donated.
You won! I did not think that.
After 3 nerve-wracking rounds of voting, the kid sporting the cool shades and fresh suit had won the illustrious title USA Mullet Champion.
I was super surprised.
How many people have reached out to you since you've won?
about the whole world.
For now, the mullet may be here to stay, but for the Bolts family, this was never really about a hairstyle anyway.
If you had one wish out of all of this, what would it be?
Foster care to go out of business and no more kids be in foster care.
Meg Oliver, CBS News, Jonesboro, Arkansas.
Up next, an Arkansas nurse shows remarkable courage in the face of one of life's biggest battles.
Life is just a little bit different for me now. I enjoy it more and I embrace it a lot more. You don't know how important something is until you almost lose it. The doctor came in and said, "Has anybody ever told you you had congestive heart failure?" I said, "You're in the wrong room." I know that it was the device that kept me alive while he worked on my heart. And along with God, that saved my life. Take care of the one body that you have, because you have no idea whether you're going to get an opportunity to take care of yourself again.
We can all agree that healthcare workers are remarkable. Whether throughout the pandemic or just in their day-to-day jobs, they face some incredibly hard situations. Our next story comes from Mercedes McKay, who introduces us to a nurse who had to fight through some really tough challenges, but still managed to help others along the way.
From an early age, Taylor Slaughter had a vision for her future.
I always knew since I was a little girl that I wanted to be a nurse.
That dream became a reality in 2015 when she got accepted into UAMS's nursing program. But life had other plans.
I started chemo the day I got my acceptance letter to nursing school, and I decided, all right, this gives me something to fight for.
1 month before she got that acceptance letter, the 20-year-old was diagnosed with lymphoma cancer after countless doctor appointments trying to figure out what was wrong.
It was almost like, okay, now we know what's wrong finally. Now let's see what we can do about it. I tried to always have a positive attitude and never question why. I just knew that this was my journey and I needed to do what I had to do to get through it.
Her journey took her to Houston, where she went through intense high-dose chemo. After her last day of therapy, she never questioned getting back into her scrubs and finishing what she started.
My diagnosis just showed me right then and there, you can do this. Like, you just went through it, so you can do it. You can help and assist those other patients going through their hard times.
Now, 7 years later, that's exactly what she does every day as a nurse at the UAMS Cancer Institute. But working with patients who are going through what she went through isn't always easy.
I will say at first, you do have survivor's guilt. It's really hard. You wonder, why me? Why not this patient? But at the end of the day, I just have to remember that that was my journey and this is theirs.
Not just helping these patients with medicine and infusions, but even more with her story.
Sometimes I have patients, women specifically, that are nervous about losing their hair, and I sit down and show them my Instagram photos of, this is me with no hair, and I even had a mohawk when I first shaved my head.
With Survivor imprinted on her arm, this healthcare hero is reminded every day of what she went through. But she wakes up every morning ready to fight that same fight by her patient's sides.
It made me to be a better nurse today.
Mercedes McKay, THV 11 News.
After the break, a high school senior making her mark inside the classroom as she plans for a remarkable future. We want to hear about the remarkable people in your life. Send us your pictures and stories, and we may share them here on THV 11. Just text them to 501-376-1111.
Very often you see Mr. White staying late and arriving to work early.
Not a good feeling to know that, like, when I get here, I have to, call somebody to come out and help me, and then they'll come out, because I don't want to be a burden on anybody.
truly been overwhelming because we know how amazing he is, but then to look at it in the community and see all the people that have come together to support him is overwhelming, and it's gratifying.
The outpouring of love and support, it feels really good. And it's really been impactful and just a blessing.
This time of year is huge for high school graduations. Our young people making big decisions that are going to send them down a path toward the rest of their lives. Our final story comes from Hannah Settles, who introduces us to a high school senior with so many options, we think it's pretty remarkable.
Walking the same halls as former President Bill Clinton, Hot Springs world-class high school senior Marlissa Archie is following the same blueprint to success.
I always knew my goal was I wanted to be a leader. I wanted to impact the place I was and the people I was around.
With over $4.5 million offered in scholarships, Marlissa has a huge decision to make in the upcoming weeks to accomplish that goal.
So my top schools right now, I have Harvard, Yale, Columbia, UChicago, and Pomona. Yale is offering me a full ride, and Harvard is very close to a full ride.
But for Marlissa, choosing her dream school is not just about the academics.
I have Beta Club, National Honor Society, Interact Club, Student Council. I've done dance throughout the years. I've been a part of dance. I'm an IB diploma candidate.
The list goes on, and Marlissa is leaving some of her teachers speechless.
She is unlike any student I've ever met, and it really is, I think, because she's very grounded and knows what she wants and is willing to do anything to get it.
By any means necessary, with a drive and determination like no other.
Being in government and being like a part of our nation's prime resource for legislation and acts and all that, being the people who decide what happens within your country and being the lawmakers has been something I've wanted since I can first remember. I didn't really have another career path I wanted to take.
Marlissa sees herself as a future leader of Arkansas, with plans to become a criminal defense attorney and specialize in human rights law, eventually moving on to the political world.
Growing up in Arkansas, that has persuaded that a lot. Government has been very impactful, especially as a person of color within this state. Just being an advocate and being a voice for people like me and people unlike me and just everyone as a whole.
For any student wanting to follow in Marlissa's footsteps, she's got one piece of advice.
Stay authentic. Be who you are. It's not always easy, but it's a beautiful journey, and it's a journey that's worth taking. So if you feel the struggle now, if you feel the hurt now, just keep going, because it's really worth it. I've been there, it's been hard, but I'm very grateful for where I am. And I just want to tell them that it's worth it and that they can do it. And I believe in them, and everyone else believes in them.
And just in case you're wondering, Marlissa decided on Yale University, and she'll be going there on a full ride scholarship. Congratulations to her. We want to thank you for joining us on this special edition of 630 Central. I'm Rolly Hoyt. We'll see you back here tomorrow on THV 11.